It's been a week since I started going out with Tsubaki. During that time, I visited her home numerous times to eat dinner with her family. Tsubaki's siblings all call me Oni-chan. True to their word, they already treat me like an honest-to-God member of the family. It was the night before their big move that Tsubaki's father called me over. What did you say?
よかったよ。本当によかったよ。いや、みんなには心配かけたね。
After hearing the good news, the entire family was exuberant. You managed to borrow 50 million yen?
僕のいとこが大阪で事業をやっていてね。昔ちょっとした喧嘩で仲違いしていたんだが、事情を説明したら力になってくれるそうでね。
How nice of him. Or her. He must be a profoundly generous man. This is utterly unthinkable. Was it a mistake to forego investigating the economic status of their relatives?
いとこは無利子無担保で全額貸してくれるそうでね。いや、本当に助かったよ。
How can something so stupid happen? I mustered all my strength and swallowed this sentence before it burst out. Even amongst family, to think that there would be a person who would lend an astronomical sum such as 50 million yen to people who clearly won't be able to pay it back. It's like throwing all that money into the gutter. Then again, if you consider Tsubaki's father's character, it's not impossible.
お父さん、すごいね。なんだろう、人徳っていうのかな。
おいおい、おだてるなよ。俺でも土下座してお願いしてきたんだ。おかげでもうひとこには頭が上がらん。
Well, now to think your loan is actually repaid. Tsubaki's father borrowed 50 million yen from a company I introduced to him. Clearing the debt means he gets the collateral back. In other words, he gets to keep his land. Alternatively, one could describe the situation thusly. My entire plan has been ruined.
いや、京介君、君には新しい住居まで用意してもらってなんだが、やっぱり僕には畑仕事があっててね。
僕もこのお家好き。
The family overflowed with the joy, yet there I was swamped with regret. You won't run into any issues with the interest? Unwilling to resign, I ask a question.
もちろんだよ。やっぱり町金融は高いね。持つべきものは親戚を含めた家族だよ。
It's over. How will I answer to Sano? Thus our corporation's reputation will suffer a monstrous blow from this. No, company be damned, the most terrifying thing of all is Gonzo. And I have to go report this to him.
ここが一番落ち着くよね。京介くんもそう思わない？
Sure.
誘拐犯みたいな悪魔もいれば、おじさんみたいな神様もいるんだね。
Tsubaki, who couldn't possibly understand my feelings at the moment, was laughing and talking with energy. Her whole family was laughing so innocently. That smile, those smiles, is that what draws angels to their aid? Amongst the crowd of happy faces, mine alone bore a false smile. My lips trembled as I reported the information to Gonzo. He had listened silently to my report, but at long last he slowly opened his mouth.
怒ってしまったものはどうしようもない。
I apologize. This is all because of my negligence.
どれくらいの損害が出る？
It won't be clear until I perform a thorough damage analysis. The worst case scenario involves the cancelling of our contract with Sano Corporation, which implies we'd be doing business as if paddling barefooted from now on.
お前は最善の策を練った。そうだな。
Yes, sir.
お前はなすべきことをなした。そうだな。
Yes, sir.
で、お前は何をしていた？
I immediately fell speechless.
なぜもっと調べをつけておかなかった？
Fuck. He has hit it dead on.
金に困った家畜は親でも売る。血を分けた兄弟から無心する。そんなことをお前が知らんとは思えんが。
I was careless.
この野郎、ふぬけてやがったな。
He glared harshly at me with bloodshot eyes containing the dregs of anger.
女か
My spine froze.
そうか。よりによってその家族の娘に入れ込んだか。
Nothing can be hidden from Gonzo. I lowered my head like a prisoner awaiting his execution.
京介、
The beast groaned softly.
飲みに行くぞ。
Huh? My worst fears began to tear at my innards.
俺のおごりだ。
Those fears manifested in the form of my quivering fingertips. Soon after, I was riding downtown in Gonzo's car. The man himself didn't say a thing as we drove along. He only stared at the hungry, lustful neon signs. The driver's eyes were wide open, suddenly screaming to me in fear through the rear view mirror. His fingers on the wheel, his wide shoulders covered by a suit jacket, his entire body seemed so rigid. He was deeply afraid of Gonzo tonight. The air in the high-end club we went to downtown was saturated with heat, cigarette smoke, and an insane lust for money. The moment Gonzo and his entourage showed their faces, the normal customers all fled like scared rabbits toward the exit. There are around 10 people here, each with an atrocious, horrific face. All of them surrounding Gonzo. Looking around, there were only tight perms, slicked backs, crew cuts, and baldies. And if there were some social norm or law about it, everyone was wearing vulgar decorations.
全員揃ってるな。
Gonzo looked around the floor with his sharp eyes.
今日はめでたい日だ。
Is it?
飲め。
Gonzo laughed, and in contrast, shivers ran across the angry faces of those around him.
息子の京介に初めてまともな女ができた。
Serpentine glares from all 10 people concentrated on me.
本当ですか、坊ちゃん。仇の娘さんですかい？
The one calling me son is the underboss of the organization, Horibe. He stands as number 2 within the group, but there is an immense difference in power between him and Gonzo, the man at the top.
いや、驚きましたよ、親父。急なお呼びでしたから、てっきり勝ち込みかと思いました。
This huge bald man happens to be the former professional wrestler Grizzly Ijima. He was chased out of the sport after half killing his production owner in a crime of passion, and is said to have been wandering the streets when he was picked up by Gonzo. Ever since then, he's been Gonzo's bodyguard. Gonzo almost always keeps him at his side when he goes out.
お前らも日々忙しいのは重々承知している。こんな要件に付き合わせて悪かったな。
とんでもない。坊ちゃんのためならてめえらいくらでも駆けつけます。
Horibe's inquiries and shouts served to synchronize everyone's opinions.
だそうだ、京介。
Having the topic suddenly turn to me made me want to instinctively curl up. I'm very glad that everyone can be here today to celebrate with me. This is the only thing I can say. Everyone held up their cups and cheered. High-grade alcohol, stuff going for 200,000 yen per bottle, was brought to the table. Everyone in the family donned their drinks in the order of their power. Here and there, the sound of insults mixed with cheers as they clicked glasses. I was seated at the seat of honor, forced to calmly deal with each and every wicked face in the crowd. The amount of cigarette smoke in the air was like murder on my lungs.
てめえ、親は息災か。
After a while, Gonzo asked a question to the man in charge of pouring the drinks. The moment Gonzo opened his mouth, the crowd, which had been so loud only a moment ago, ceased all sound. No matter how insignificant his sentence was, it was enough to turn the savage lions into cowardly kittens.
自分の親は自分が3つの時にくたばりましたが、それが何か。
The man was terrified as if he had committed a blunder.
そうか。堀部は。
自分は親父もご存知の通り今無所にいるはずですが。
飯島んとこは。
自分とこはもともとあっちの国の生まれですから、今頃本国で畑でも耕してるんじゃないんですかね。
そうか。
Gonzo repeated the same question to everyone in the room. Every last one of them had some family problem. One's father disappeared, another's mother became a prostitute, one man went to a Jewy after stabbing someone, a few were forced to pay back someone else's debt, several had used drugs to escape reality, and practically all of them had their lives destroyed by some drinking or gambling habit.
おいおい、ここにいるのはろくでなしばかりか？
Vulgar laughter permeated the room. It was a dark laugh of self-abandonment, telling me that they'd accepted the fact that life has given up on them.
不幸なことだとは思わないか、京介。
Yes. Everyone here already knows his place. Not one thinks his life has been unfortunate. They can no longer accept pity from anyone. No one here has hope that this world will become fair. They know only this, the primary rule of survival. Corner the weak and obey those with might. The word family probably doesn't mean much to anyone following such a law. Nevertheless, Gonzo brought together the deep creases on the brow of his open-hearted face as he said,
だが、俺たちは違うよな。
At that, everyone's faces tightened. I finally realized Gonzo's true intentions. Gonzo slowly surveyed everyone in the group, choosing finally to settle those eyes and the unending darkness they bear on me.
俺たちは家族だよな。
His eyes threatened me, preventing me from saying yes or no. His next line sounded like it had been taken straight from a family drama, yet it felt more akin to a scene in a dark novel when passing through Gonzo's mouth.
家族は裏切らないな。
Yes! Everyone answered with a voice so loud it was as if they were trying to fill the club. Gonzo smiled with satisfaction. A trained dog won't howl at the wrong time.
京介、よかったな。
Yes. A sensation of falling into a bottomless swamp rushed toward my heart. Gonzo had just proclaimed before all these people that he wouldn't let me escape. Betrayal means death. That is the law of blood that Gonzo and I share. This swamp has no bottom. Endless fathoms await me. Gonzo hounds me with that cruel mind of his.
おい、例のものを京介にくれてやれ。
One of the people around him moved. After a few minutes, a black briefcase was presented to me. Everyone present was staring at its contents with greed.
5000ある。
The 10,000 yen bills were all neatly lined up.
お前には今まで何か与えたことが一度もなかっただろう。
Fear burned the bottom of my heart. From the eyes of an outsider, this just looks like a father celebrating with his son. But since Asai Gonzo is a textbook case miser, there is no chance of that.
受け取れ。これで借金も少しは減るな。
An unpleasant sweat coated my skin and my stomach ached. Everyone threw their awed gazes at Gonzo. The father that has never given an allowance before now picked an occasion worth celebrating to give an astronomical sum to his son. It's enough for a performance. As long as we follow this great man, there is no need to worry about money. Thus their loyalty is renewed.
坊ちゃん、おめでとうございます。いやー、いいお父さんを持ちましたね。
How can I be happy? If I accept this 50 million, then I've received Gonzo's favor. How many fortunes will I have to earn before I can repay this?
どうした？遠慮するな。
Gonzo's cruelty and cunning has made me an offer I can't refuse. Everyone here is holding his breath, waiting for that moment, the climax of the celebration. A refusal would disgrace the boss. Everyone would turn their fangs toward me. Once again, I felt a mix of respect and fear for the being known as Asai Gonzo. Thank you very much, father. Gonzo is still staring at me, as if probing, waiting for my next sentence. I will spend my life repaying this kindness. Gonzo brought the corner of his mouth nearly to his ear.
いいぞ京介。お前はできた息子だ。
Like a released arrow, the beasts rose their voices in cheer. The 50 million he gave me is heavy in my arms. The money I just received so easily was enough to save Tsubaki's family. But to me, right here in this club, it's certainly not worth the same amount. I can't possibly see this as worth the same amount. The dark feast continued until dawn. Tsubaki and her ilk can do nothing but bemoan their fate now. I sealed my heart for good this time, once again submitting to the role of Asai Gonzo's prized livestock. Well, shit. I need to rethink my strategy. No matter what I have to do, I absolutely must force Tsubaki's family to move out. This is Kyosuke. Hello, I apologize for calling you at this time. Actually, I got into direct contact with Asano Corporation's Mr. Somea. I don't know why, but the director of senior management has been personally entrusted to look over this matter. It's like receiving an imperial decree. No matter what, the Asai Corporation must fulfill this request. That's the whole story. I was hoping we could discuss this and possibly extend the deadline a few more days.
いいえ、もう結構ですよ。他を当たらせていただきますので。
Somia's reaction was surprisingly cold. Someone else, you say?
ご心配なく。親衛会の方にもいくらかコネクションがありますから。
Shinei is a powerful organization within the Sowa Alliance. Its influence takes a close second behind Gonzo's Sonoyama group. Right now, it's still a group consisting of stubborn militarists. They're always at odds with Gonzo's economic focus. Even in my worst nightmares, I wouldn't have thought that our business would be stolen by them. 2 weeks. No, can you give me 10 days? I swear to you, I will meet and exceed your expectations.
と言われましても、浅井工業さんは荒っぽい手口は好まれないのでしょう。せっかくその道のプロにお願いして、我々としても大船に乗ったつもりだったのですが。
That doesn't sound good. If you request it next time,
今後は
this asshole. We won't hesitate to use more extreme methods.
なるほど。では、1週間お待ちしましょう。
This asshole is one hell of a veteran when it comes to these things. For all I know, he never even talked with Shinei. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to continue working with you. Damn it. Even though I said that to Mr. Somea, I'm still at square one. From today on, we'll send a few threatening phone calls and disturbing visits their way. Still, in this modern age, it's too dangerous to force them to move. If things go wrong, I'll end up in the slammer. No, wait. Perhaps I could lay a little groundwork with the police's jurisdiction beforehand. That way, no matter how much fuss Tsubaki's family makes, the police won't act. Of course, this is different from avoiding a speeding ticket. It would require substantial cash. On the other hand, perhaps I could get a hold of a weakness of theirs. I worked long into the night analyzing illegal, contemptible tactics. During that time, Tsubaki's smiling face surfaced in my mind again and again. Again and again, I'd feel her warmth in my arms. But every time Gonzo's reward and the abhorrent faces of those 10-odd men stilled my heart once more. It's me. I want you to dig around a bit. Try to make it a section chief or something from the prefectural or metropolitan police department. That night, there wasn't time to sleep. The evening of the next day, I was devising strategies to end to this charade while spending time with Tsubaki. So what do you think? Is this cafe too fancy for you too, or are you comfortable?
ああいうお店なら私でもなんとか空気に溶け込めるね。
After asking for my permission, Tsubaki took her cell out of her pocket.
お母さんからだ。
Does she want you home?
今日はお母さんがいろいろするから彼氏と遊んできていいよって。
You guys sure are close.
そうかな。
Yeah, well in any case, if your mom says it's okay, you should hang out with me a bit longer. Tsubaki seemed to be wavering.
ちょっとならいいよ。あんまり遅くなったらお母さんも。
Don't you think it's tiring to carry so much responsibility in your family?
そう？今までずっとこうだったから大変なことなんてないよ。
Right after she finished, Tsubaki's brow furrowed.
ごめん、それは嘘だね。誘拐事件があってうちが大変だった時、私ちょっとダメだったし。
Bad?
嫌なこと全部忘れて京介くんと遊んでたいって思ったの。弟たちの面倒とかうちでご飯作ることとか全部丸投げして好きなように遊んでたいって。
So what?
だから私にもそういう自分勝手な気持ちあるんだなって思ったの。なんていうのかな、自然に私はいい子ですみたいな感じじゃないの。家族のためなら何でもやりますみたいな感じじゃなくて、 あれ？何言ってるんだろうね。
Panicking, she pulled out a diary from somewhere. No, there's no need for the diary. That just means you're a human being, Tsubaki.
そう、ヒューマンです。だからお腹もすくよ。
Tsubaki said so brightly, gently holding onto my arm. Alright then, let's get a bite to eat. What do you want?
なんでもいいよ。私は京介くんについていくの。
Her head was rubbing up against my arm. Out in public, she innocently lets me spoil her. For me, who is really sensitive to other people's attention, this is a bit discouraging. Still, I admire her purity. I brought Tsubaki to a nearby restaurant that I go to often. Tsubaki seemed to really care for busy spots such as this, and just like always, she jotted the location of the place into her diary. Say, why do you enjoy writing in your diary?
なんでだろうね。
When did you start the habit of writing?
きっかけは子供の頃お父さんが買ってくれたからかな。もう何度も修理に出してボロボロになってるんだけどね。京介くんはどうしてクラシックが好きなの？
Who knows? Maybe it's because my family loved it. I still remember my father playing air on the G-string.
やっぱりお父さんの影響を受けるんだね。一緒だね。
She giggled happily. However, I'm nothing like you. The many differences between my family memories and yours are like the difference between the sky and the depths of a chasm. Tsubaki. Tsubaki was studying my face from below.
どうしたの？寒いの？
No, just a bit uneasy. Can I really have a normal relationship with Tsubaki? Can Tsubaki, a person who grew up surrounded by happiness, possibly understand me well enough to be my girlfriend? Moreover, can I really force someone like her out of her own home?
お仕事のことかな。
Yeah, something like that.
私にできることがあったら何でも言ってね。
Anything, huh? Then convince your father to sell your land to Sano. I can't really just come out and say that. After the man went through all that trouble to get the money so they wouldn't have to move, so that his family could finally calm their hearts. Alright, I will. Anyway, let me walk you home.
ああ、いいよ。一人で帰れるよ。忙しいんでしょ？
No, I insist.
そう？
In truth, she's right. There's no more time to play around. Within a week, no, 6 days, I need to conceive and execute some new scheme.